Students often wonder how to get into medical school with a low GPA. Well, buckle up, because you are about to get some very honest advice. All of the extracurricular activities in the world won't grant you access to medical school if your grades are not up to snuff. Do you want to learn how to get into medical school with a low GPA? Then keep watching this video for our tips. Hi, my name is Chris and I am an admissions associate here at BeMo. Before we get started, please be sure to subscribe on whichever social media channel you're watching this from now so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. If you would like us to help you get into medical school, visit bemomedschool.com to schedule a free initial consultation. As a quick tip, check out the timestamps in the description of this video to navigate to specific sections of the video that you're interested in. Here's what we're going to cover today. Why GPA is important, reflecting on what's holding you back, getting into medical school with low GPA first year, getting into medical school with low GPA second year, getting into medical school with low GPA third year applying to med school, getting into medical school with low GPA after undergraduate degree, addressing a low GPA in medical school applications. By the way, we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for your chance to win. There's this one thing that will dramatically increase your chances of being accepted into medical school with a low GPA, and I'll explain at the end of the video, so make sure you're watching the entire video to find the answer. Now let's get started. We need to start with a couple of important notes about GPAs. First of all, your GPA demonstrates your academic history and ability for improvement. Other than the MCAT, your GPA is the only indicator of your academic prowess in the med school application. But that's not all. Most importantly, meeting the GPA and MCAT score thresholds of the schools you're applying to eliminates the chance that you will be removed from the applicant pool at the very beginning. While med schools boast about their holistic admissions review, most weed out applicants with lower GPA and MCAT scores right away to make the pool of applicants more manageable. This means that even if the rest of your application is absolutely stellar, your extracurriculars and essays will not be looked at. This is why students are encouraged to at least meet the set expectations when they apply. This way, the admissions committee might still look at the rest of the application and be impressed. The first thing you need to do is figure out why your GPA is low in the first place. This is an important step, especially for those who still have time to greatly improve their academic standing. If you are still in your undergrad, take a moment to sit down and brainstorm a list of all the factors that are affecting your grades. Ask yourself the following questions. Do I have issues with time management? Are you always up late the night before a test, trying to cram in your studying? Are you struggling to complete your assignments on time or even handing them in late? Do you often feel overwhelmed by your workload? The solution to time management issues is better organization. Buy yourself an agenda or even a wall calendar and start planning out when you will complete each task on your to-do list. Mark down important deadlines in your agenda and or in your phone calendar for easy reference. But recording deadlines alone isn't enough. For each assignment, work out when you will set aside time to complete it and create an actionable timeline for doing each step, e.g., Tuesday, start research for biology assignment. Wednesday, start first draft of assignment. Thursday, do draft revisions. Do I struggle to understand the course material? A low GPA may be a sign that you are finding your courses too hard. If you often feel lost during your lectures and struggle with your assignments due to a lack of understanding, then you need to take action. Consult with your professors and TAs during their office hours to get extra help and advice for materials that confuse you. Set aside time in your agenda for doing extra reading and review for subjects you find challenging. Seek out a tutor or peer mentoring if you require more one-on-one guidance. Consider finding a study buddy or group for your courses so that you have someone you can regularly discuss the course material with. Sometimes discussion can help make difficult concepts easier to grasp. Are my study habits poor? Bad time management isn't the only ineffective study habit that can hold your GPA back. Do you know how to take good notes? How to study effectively for tests and exams? How to properly review material? These are all essential skills you need in order to have good study habits. Check out the Academic Advising Department or Writing Center at your school to see if there are workshops available to help you develop these skills. You can also speak to your academic mentors, such as professors and TAs, for tips. Do I feel unmotivated or uninterested in what I'm studying? Maybe you are capable of getting high grades when you're interested in a particular course, but find your grades drop the minute you feel bored or detached from what you're studying. If that's the case for you, you need to review the courses you're taking and even the program you're in. While you do have to pay attention to the medical school prerequisites your school of choice requires, you should aim to play to your strengths as much as possible during your bachelor's. Make sure you're studying subjects you are genuinely interested in whenever possible. Motivation is an essential ingredient for a high GPA. Are there external factors impacting my performance? Sometimes there are non-academic factors in your life that can have a negative impact upon your performance at school. Things like illnesses, personal problems, or struggling to adjust to new circumstances can make it harder to concentrate on your studies. If any of these factors are affecting you, it is important to address them. Seek support from friends, family, and counseling services when necessary. Sometimes academic accommodation is also available for students dealing with factors beyond their control, so speak to your professors. You should also keep in mind that you can address any external factors that impacted your performance in your personal statement for your medical school applications. You can check out some of the best medical school personal statement examples to learn more about making the most of your essay. Finding out what is the root cause of your low GPA is the first step to addressing whatever issues may be holding you back. Be honest with yourself and commit yourself to proactively addressing the issues you are facing. We will now take a closer look at what your game plan for improvement should be depending on where you are in your bachelor's degree. How to get into medical school with a low GPA. After first year, it's still early in your academic career, so you're going to be okay if you make the right changes. If you rolled out of the first year with a 3.5 or below, you've got to really settle in and alter your priorities. Here's what you need to do. Time diary. Spend a week recording how many hours in a typical week you spend working on formal academic work. Then figure out how many hours you spend on other things: sports, job, research, volunteering, socializing, sleeping, etc. Now you need to make more time for studying and less for socializing. You need to get better at sorting out how to better prioritize academic work. Refer back to your handy to-do lists of your responsibilities for each week and follow through with your tasks for each day. For your poorest courses, you need to consider hiring someone to help you improve your skills. But you can spend a lot of time on a tutor and not improve if you don't know how to use one. Ideally, find a graduate student in the field. Then meet regularly with the tutor and ensure each session has clear objectives. For every assignment and lab report, try the entire thing yourself in advance of meeting with the tutor. For the questions you cannot figure out, go to the textbook to see if there is something you're missing. Then go to the regular office hours for your class, and then take what you still don't understand to your tutor. Spend time only going over the questions you do not understand so you can keep learning at the edge of your knowledge gap. Better use of time. Using your tutors in the ways described is a great way to make more efficient use of the same number of study hours. The other best way is to constantly test yourself. So if you have 8 hours to prepare for 2 midterms, do you think you're better off reviewing chapters of textbooks or doing practice tests and questions? Definitely the practice tests and questions, without a doubt. tear through the questions in the back of your textbook and sample ones offered in the syllabus. Redo the questions you got wrong on your assignment. This is the highest yield work you can do with limited hours. Passive review is not going to be enough to ace your courses. Consider a major change and following your passion. If you are a science major and are pulling B's in all of your science courses, even though you paid attention and studied, then you may need to reflect seriously on whether or not a science degree is the right one for you and if you are following your passion academically. Science degrees classically test in the form of multiple choice, and even if you understand the concepts, it may not capture your knowledge. This does not bode well for your MCAT performance because it is also multiple choice, nor for medical school, to be honest. But if you need more space in your schedule to devote more time to your science courses, because you can't actually drop them even if you switch majors, then switching majors might work out for you. But you have to do this in the first year. Don't switch majors if you aren't a strong writer. Getting A's in essay-based humanities or social science courses is extremely hard if you aren't a good writer. Lastly, don't switch majors if you got mediocre grades in the first year because you didn't actually try that hard. Change your attitude and work harder. How to get into medical school with a low GPA after a second year. If you're still hanging out in the 3.5 to 3.6 region, there is even more pressure for you to do well on your MCAT. So that's our first piece of advice, and I would like to reiterate the importance of the time diary, the tutor, and improving your efficiency. Changing majors is less appealing at this juncture. Review our medical school GPA requirements blog so you know what you should be aiming for. At this point, you need to start taking a very serious look at how you're spending your time. You can't pare down too much on your extracurricular activities because they are important and schools need to see that you can manage a high volume of disparate activities. But you need to cut away the fat and make sure every hour you spend has a purpose. Now more than ever, make sure that you are creating an efficient schedule for getting all of your tasks done per week and that you are sticking to it. The other thing you need to do is start looking at which schools fit the bill for your GPA. For those applying to the US, learn how to use MSAR to find the right school for you. The schools that have lower GPA requirements should start to become your target. Figure out which ones work for you. In Canada, your options will start to get limited to schools with very low GPA requirements, such as McMaster Medical School and the Cummings School of Medicine. But in reality, those schools take very few people with GPAs under 3.7, but you won't be excluded from the pool right away. Canadian students with lower GPAs need to start considering taking medical training in the US or overseas. This comes with its own set of complications, but if you're committed and driven, it is possible to get back to Canada to practice medicine. It is, however, getting more and more difficult to do so. How to get into medical school with a low GPA after third year and applying to med school during this cycle. You're applying to medical school this summer and fall, depending on whether you are in the US or Canada, and your GPA is 3.5. You must prepare yourself to put in a lot of applications at a lot of schools. And make sure that you have a fantastic application so you're not giving the heartless admissions committees any more reason to reject you. You should also consider your backup plans, which could involve post-bac programs, special master's programs, graduate degrees, a second undergraduate degree, and additional courses. The additional courses option needs to be considered specifically at this juncture because the extra courses will not be considered in your GPA calculation once you complete your undergraduate degree. If you choose to do extra courses, consider turning this into a minor specialization or even better, a second major. You must get all A's, otherwise it's barely worth it. Ensure the school knows your plan to defer graduation until the next year and discuss your options with an academic counselor so you don't make any fatal errors with your course selection. How to get into medical school with a low GPA after a completed undergraduate degree and applying to med school during this cycle. These backup plans don't take away from the fact that you need to also ace your final year. If you have a 3.6 GPA in your first 3 years and your 4th year is awesome, you have a much better chance of sneaking in with an offer after 4th year than if you just keep humming along getting the same grades as before. Many medical schools pay attention to progress and GPA increase over the years, so make sure to demonstrate improvements in your transcript. Take our study advice above. Again, you'll have to make sure that your application is outstanding. Consider scheduling a session with an academic advisor or a medical school advisor to make your application as strong as it can be. All of the same advice about backup plans still applies when considering what to do after your undergraduate degree. You can also consider post-bac programs if they don't include courses you've already taken and if you're interested in taking the program on its own merits, not just to get into medical school. We speak about these programs in a recent post on how to avoid medical school rejection. The only difference is that your window to make an academic impression is going to be more limited, as most post-bac programs only last 1 or 2 years. This is the year of reckoning. If your GPA and MCAT aren't great, but not terrible, overseas options may be your best bet if you don't want to wait to rebuild your GPA in country, or if you are willing to risk the uncertainty of residency and employment after. Keep in mind there are some medical schools that don't require the MCAT, so this could also be an option. Final tips: how to address a low GPA in med school applications. Finally, if you're worried about how to deal with a low GPA in your med school applications or interviews, we have some tips for you. While a low GPA is never ideal, it can become less of a disadvantage if you know how to talk about it in a way that benefits you. Turn your story of initial academic disappointment into a narrative about growth and resilience. If you have taken the remedial steps outlined above and gained better grades as a result, you have demonstrated the ability to address problems in a mature and responsible way. What you need to emphasize is what you have learned from these challenges. Talk about what improving your academic performance has taught you in terms of self-improvement, better time management, good study habits, etc. Showing the admissions committee or interviewer that you are capable of both self-reflection and of taking the necessary corrective action reveals your determination to succeed. Make sure that these are the qualities you draw attention to when discussing a low GPA. Check out our blog to learn more about how to get into medical school with a low GPA. I've included a link in the description of this video so you can find the blog easily. If you would like us to help you get into medical school, visit BeMoMedSchool.com to schedule your free initial consultation. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and have received answers you were looking for. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment, especially if you would like a chance to win our $50 Amazon gift cards. If you have any further questions that were not covered in this video, please let me know in the comments section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.